I'm just very confused today.
Are you saying you don't want a spinoff from the greatest movie
I
that has
did.
ever existed
I will
of the
take
James Gunn universe?
any creative juices you want to throw my way. Go right ahead. Some things might stick and some things might not, but just please don't be a child and respond like a child when people say that this show is stupid.
But we really should concentrate on the fact that you want some juice on your face.
What?
You said you will take all the juice.
Yeah, the creative
So
creative juices. Don't be
what?
nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
Nasty.
I'm just saying, you want a juice on your face. Pause right there. But James Gunn is ready to give it to you in the face with all the juices right now.
Mhm.
So from the greatest movie to ever exist, I know how much you loved Superman. You came out crying and you immediately texted me that this should win all of the awards, which hilariously, they are campaigning for the Oscars and the
Eh,
Golden Globe.
I wouldn't go that far, really.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm like not even technical. But yeah. So anyway, we're getting a spinoff from the bestest character that ever existed, Jimmy Olsen. And this is the live action spinoff, not to be confused with Jimmy Olsen that is in My Adventures with Superman, which is actually really good. I would have
I like
preferred
it.
that. But this is a live action version of that. And as you know from the show itself, he is an investigator. He's not just there with his little camera. He is an investigator investigating the crimes of Metropolis. And he's also like a ladies' man. So I wonder how that will also come into play as well. But yeah, this will kind of focus completely on his character. But one of the things that really was like, could be a saving grace is that James Gunn is, from my understanding, he is not writing this.
Okay.
Instead, it's going right is going to be Dan Paretol and Tony Yacinda, which I probably butchered, who are the writers of American Vandal, which was a comedy.
Mm.
It was like mockumentary satire style. And they are going to be the writers, the showrunners, and the executive producers of it. So the concept of this show is very simple. It centers on Olsen, Jimmy Olsen, as well as other Daily Planet reporters. But we're not getting Lois and Clark. We're not going to get, who they may make a cameo. I don't know. They, probably a little cameo.
They're not gonna fit
Somebody,
the budget.
they're not going to fit the budget. Maybe a cape you'll just see flying in the air one day. And be like, oh, look, it's Lois's desk. She's never here. But Clark is never here. I wonder what's going on. That kind of thing. Um, but it will tackle cases involving superpowered villains. And the big villain we have is going to be your favorite character to ever exist. Gorilla Grodd will be the spotlight for season 1, which we all know from The Flash. For those who like need a closer kind of like, oh, The Flash.
The Flash
So, what were
TV
your
show.
thoughts? TV show. Yeah, oh yeah. Sorry about that. The Flash TV show. That's a whole nother argument of the Flash there. But we did love the 9 seasons, I believe, of the Flash, even though both have bad special effects.
Did we love
Wait,
all 9 seasons? Maybe not. Maybe like the first five.
I see y'all complain too much. I thought they did a better version of Crisis of in what is it?
Oh
Infinite
yeah,
Earths.
those were
That was
great.
so. Remember Constantine? He
Hmm.
somehow was in it.
Hmm.
Oh, I need to
Yeah,
rewatch that because
Lucifer
that was
there.
Lucifer. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's really sad when a CW show is better than an actual movie that they announced when they were starting filming on the CW show.
Yeah.
Remember that mess? But yeah, going back to the gorillas, what are your thoughts on the Gorilla Man?
Um. So in general, I think this show will be a interesting and fun way to introduce new characters, villains, whatever. I talked about this with you offline before. James Gunn is really good at taking not so known or not so cared for characters and spin it into something that is worth watching. He
Mhm.
did it with the Suicide Squad. He did it with Guardians of the Galaxy. He did it with Peacemaker. So hopefully we get it with this. So I think Gorilla Grodd would be a great start, an interesting start. I don't know
Mhm.
how that works, but we're just leave it up to them. But it's interesting, and I would love to see what their take is on Gorilla Grodd and how they're going to introduce him. Especially because he's people think that he's like this stupid, not literally stupid, but like kind of like a C-list type of villain, or type of villain that's like not interesting or important, but he has a pretty good backstory. He's got good motivations for why he's so villainous, and he's a genius gorilla, so it works. Only thing I worry about is the CGI. I hope the CGI is really good, um, because they did a pretty good job for the Flash, but I kind of feel like with the Flash show, as like the seasons progressed, the quality of the CGI and the action kind of diminished. So I hope they kind of just maintain that with this show.
Mhm. Um, and one of the things that I that automatically when you say Gorilla Grog, remember in the CW, Gorilla Grog tried to kill Obama.
In the
You
comics?
remember in the show, The Flash.
In this show? I don't remember that.
In the show, you don't remember?
I
It
don't
was
remember
like
that.
it aired like around. Okay. It was completely ridiculous. It was the craziest thing ever, right? So it was President's Day within the show,
Yeah.
and Gorilla Grog tried to kill Obama, and no one seems to remember this. It was absolutely hilarious. It was the end of season 3. Where I think it was. How did it go? Um, Gorilla Grog was trying to kill the future president, who ended up becoming um, Barack Obama at the time, and
Oh,
it was a huge
okay.
thing. You starting to remember now? So
Not
yeah,
really.
he's like, no, I remember. See, everyone forgets like the great stuff that happened, but this all had to do like with it was a huge fight scene. Obviously, not with Obama,
Yeah.
but they had the legends. Remember how it was the legends of tomorrow? They got involved. Remember Legends of
I
Tomorrow?
remember them.
The
I do not
show,
remember them
Legends of
getting involved.
Tomorrow.
I don't remember them getting
Yeah.
involved. Nope.
It was he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And that's
But kind
season
of moving
3. That
on.
was so long ago.
Yes. It was a while ago, but it was an episode that was nobody remembers. The point is this. Gorilla Grodd has been a part of the DC universe for a while, especially when it came to a live action version of this. My thing is, how different are we going to make it? Because I thought that they did a really great job, comic book accurate wise, with the CW show, and all there were other iterations of it. But from one of the things that because you are like hardcore into comic books, so you're like, whoa, I love this. um, he has his abilities. It's not like it's a big old gorilla. This is not like something from Godzilla, the
Is that what they
movies.
said?
This is no, I meant like in general for people who don't know. When
Oh,
you're like,
oh, oh.
oh, he's gonna go after a gorilla, it's just like he has
It's just a
telepathic
guy.
powers,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
right? So kind of like explain to people the importance of Grog and why this is not like something out of King Kong.
Well, he's like, I get it, like if you were to say Kingpin is the genius villainous person, arch nemesis for Spider-Man, and Lex Luthor is the genius arch nemesis for Superman, then Gorilla Grodd is the genius arch nemesis for the Flash. Um, so he's just a smart gorilla. Ooh, like that's like the gist of what he is. But like, yeah, he has telepathic powers. He's super smart. He wants to like create a utopia of of his species and his kind to take over, kind of like Planet of the Apes
Mm-hmm.
style, pretty much. At least most of his motivations come through that, but things change and he has other reasons. But uh, there's not much to him other than that. He's tragic in the sense that like he was mistreated while he was growing up and subject to these experiments and stuff that turned him to what he is today. So that could be a little part of something that they could touch on the show, is like the experiment on animals and we already know James Gunn is really good with that stuff, so hopefully
Oh,
he has some influence with that
we'll see
along with
him as
the
like a little
directors.
tiny
Yeah, little
gorilla.
tiny ape. Yeah.
No, gorilla.
A gorilla. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, he would mess me up if I called him an ape. Um, but yeah, I hope this just the start of something interesting. I hope they kind of just keep him in the shadows and kind of just don't use him too much. So he's kind of like in the background, kind of manipulating everything. Because I don't see this as like a big flashy, action type of show. You don't need a lot of CGI. So even practical effects will still be good. Like you can keep a giant, you know, practical gorilla in the background sitting on his throne like freaking Thanos or something, and only show him in certain points to kind of like push a button or like send a an enemy somewhere to stop Jimmy or whatever it is he's doing. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I say this again. I just worry about the practical effects versus CGI and stuff for such a big villain.
Yes, I do worry about that. I wonder how that is going to look. I do have somewhat of faith, but the reason why I have that is I don't think he'll be on camera on screen that much,
Mm,
which can cut down the budget
yes.
immensely. This is a very smart person. So how about they not realize what Gorilla Grog actually is, and instead they think that they're fighting, some at least a human form or an alien kind of form that's closer to mankind as opposed to a telepathic gorilla. So that should be interesting. And then as more as they investigate, he kind of reveals himself, and we kind of get that maybe the last 3 episodes or something where they show him. And
Yeah.
he's not someone that needs, that you were saying, he doesn't need to be on camera all the time. And they can make it kind of practical in that sense. They're again, I'm not speaking to somebody who knows technology, but I'm pretty sure they can use like the practical facial, I don't know what you would call it, motion capture thing at first, and like keep them in the shadows where we
Hmm.
don't need to see that full thing. And as you was explaining, um, he does a really great, James Gunn in general does a really great job at making you care about a puppet and having to
Yeah.
realize like this is not a real this is a rock, whatever it was, a bunch of bunny and hamsters and rodents from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He
Yeah.
can make it like they're really crafty with puppets nowadays. So there's a lot of ways that they can go with this and kind of focus on the backstory. And I do expect a little tear if that is the case, because when he wants to see a little tortured baby gorilla and the sad eyes looking at you, it'll be interesting. And then also it'll give like more of a personality to this character. So I
Hmm.
kind of like it. I think it's going to be interesting. But one of the things that is another, it's going to film around the same time as the Supergirl movie, Super Girl of Tomorrow,
Girl, no. I thought it was just
Superwoman.
called Supergirl.
Oh well, it was originally when they had
Man
two
of
persons
Tomorrow is
tomorrow.
the next Superman movie.
That is the next Superman movie. Um, Basically, it's going to be filming around the same time. Oh, no, I got it all confused. Sorry, they already did film the Supergirl.
Oh,
Man
okay.
of Tomorrow. Sorry. So, Man of Tomorrow is going to be filming at the exact same time as this TV series. They're both going to be filmed in Atlanta because, everything's in Atlanta or probably overseas at this point. That's a whole nother conversation of tariffs. But it is going to be filmed around that time. So I think we might get a crossover or one or two. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to live there. For example, we had Peacemaker crossing over in the Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? He had a whole little scene there. And we had the unnecessary Lex Luthor in Peacemaker. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we're going to start getting crossovers. So we can easily get, a cape, like I said, a cape, a foot, or something of what's going on that will lead into Man of Tomorrow from this series, or at least something bleeds into. Remember, we had the entire thing of Bogorvia? I forgot what it was called. But
Barovia.
the plot,
Bur-
yes, with Creature Commandos and
yes,
Superman
Superman.
movie, you had kind of like the same shared plot in a way. So the point I'm simply making is there could easily be a crossover. We also know who's going to be in it. Well, the returning reporters who is going to be in it. So we do have Wendell Pierce, who we know originally played. Oh my God, he played the black reporter because he's a black man. Perry White.
Very White. Yeah.
Perry White is going to be in it. Wendell Pierce was Perry White in the movie. He's like, I don't know these people.
Oh, I know
Steve
Perry White.
Lombard, Cat Grant is going to be back,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and Ron Trupe. So that should be interesting to at least see. Wendell Pierce stays with a job, and Cat Grant. We really didn't get to see a lot of Cat Grant in the movie, so maybe this is like her whole thing where she can shine. And for those who don't remember, Cat Grant was also one of the big main characters in the Supergirl TV series that was also part of CW. That was originally on CBS, but it was going to cancel, but they moved it to the CW, and it was like, yay, if that makes any sense. So, yes. So that should be interesting. And you said you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because before you was like, no, why? So is your why still a why, or is it like, meh, yay?
No, I'm still asking. Well, I mean, 'cause the main thing is like I'm asking why Jimmy Olsen, like why that. So I'm very
Because he was a
curious.
breakout star.
I mean, sure, he had a he had a couple good moments in the Superman movie, but does that really warrant an entire TV series? Like, I feel like it's one of those. It's the same thing with kind of like Marvel, where Marvel will want to do a spin-off or something, and then not really dedicate themselves to it. They just it's kind of just like a
Mhm.
one and done type of thing. And I'm kind of feeling that this Jimmy Olsen thing is going to be one of that. I could be wrong, and it could be great. I'm still going to give it a chance, and I'm still going to watch it. But I just get that vibe of just like, man, we got to figure out something to put on HBO Max because Peacemaker's done, and all we got are these movies, theatrical movies that are coming out. So I don't know, let's do Jimmy Olsen. Just get him over here. He might not be doing anything. Let's give him an offer and let's do a TV show. Like I don't know, but it's just the Jimmy Olsen thing is like that's why I'm like, why Jimmy Olsen? Like why this show specifically? Why couldn't it be like a brand new thing? Or why couldn't it be Perry White? Like why couldn't it be I don't know. It's just strange to me.
Maybe in a sense that they're focusing on like the random villains. I'm wondering how this bleeds into because we do know Man of Tomorrow ends up being Lex Luthor teaming up with Superman,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm kind of wondering if they're using that as a conduit to kind of introduce who that super villain is that now imposes a threat that requires Lex to be like, hey, I need help. Let me call Superman as much as I hate him. You
For
think?
the um I don't
Mm-hmm.
know because why would you want to involve the biggest global or universal threat for that matter in a TV show? Like there's a lot of theories out there about who would be the big bad. James Gunn has already said that he does not want to do Dark Side again because number one, it's already been done with Zack Snyder, but number two, the comparisons with Dark Side and Thanos were too much. So he wants to stray away from that. He wants to try to do something different, which is great. I 100% agree with that. Darkseid is like one of my favorite villains for DC, but yes, we should absolutely put him to the side for now. Like you've got people like Brainiac, you've got the Anti-Monitor,
Mm-hmm.
you could do freaking Lobo if anything. I think Lobo is going to be the villain for
Oh
Superman
yeah.
though.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but you could do there are so many other top tier villains that you can do for man to introduce, and maybe a Man of Tomorrow, or for like the Avengers style, or in this case Justice League style movie. Um, but to kind of allude to it in the Jimmy Olsen show is still kind of weird to me too.
You don't. Oh, Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, I was kind of confused about it, especially when we had a whole series that already has Jimmy Olsen, the My Adventures with Superman, which I hope doesn't mean it's gonna get canceled because that was actually
Yeah,
good.
DC. Honestly, DC has a habit of doing those type of things. There was I think they had canceled the Batman animated series, or at least postponed it for a while, because the Batman movies were coming out with Robert Pattinson.
Right.
Uh
Well, that
it's
that
just
was because remember there was a bunch of Batman shows that were coming.
yeah.
There was the one that was by who originally did the Batman Adventures, like when we were a kid,
Oh, the
that
animated
used to
series,
air
yeah,
on
with Kevin
the
Conroy.
animated series. Yes, but the writer who did that
Yeah.
whole thing,
Uh-huh.
I believe he had a series that is supposed to come out or was supposed to come out. But that whole weird thing, remember when David Zaslav was like cutting everything?
Yeah, I
Remember
do.
we were supposed to get like Urkel and some Urkel TV show?
Oh, I don't know about
Scooby Doo
that.
and Urkel?
I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
cut everything. So there were a bunch of Batman series that instead went to Prime Video
Okay.
that was supposed to get cut. This was during the same time as Batgirl, which we never got, and I don't think we ever
Mhm.
will.
We will.
But
I'm gonna put money on that. I have hope. We're gonna get that.
they said
We're
they
gonna see
destroyed
that.
the tape. The
No,
tapes are
it's still in the vault.
destroyed.
It's still in the vault. Don't believe him. Don't believe him
They
whatsoever.
destroyed the tapes.
Nope.
But okay, I don't know.
But like
But
DC
mhm,
doesn't like to have multiple IPs of the same character out at the same time. Like
uh,
that's their problem. Like they think that we're stupid and we can't differentiate between like the different realities and stuff of like the animated series versus the show versus a movie. So
mhm.
I don't know what they're gonna do with all that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it'll be interesting because we still have Robert Pattinson. I don't know if when are we ever getting that movie? But apparently, there's a script somewhere that's being written.
It's
Remember the
done.
second one?
The script is done.
It's done. Well, we'll see what happens. Like, come
Mhm.
on now. We're gonna be waiting for this. It'll be GTA. What is it? GTA 6?
That got delayed too. Oh my god, don't get me started on that shit. That got delayed
That's
too
never
now.
coming out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's never coming out. You guys are gonna like be like old grandpas and the herbs. They go, yeah, remember back in Reggie? But yeah,
Back in my
I don't think
day.
that's coming out. Back in Reggie, we had a game called GT6. It never came out. It's a lore. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm semi interested. I'm not gonna say I'm excited because I'm like a little bit meh, as well as you. Because it's like, why Jimmy? I think only because the fans like the fact that he had a couple of moments in some scenes where like the girl and like
Yeah.
whoa, why is all these women flocking after him? And it's like, oh, he has aura. I don't know. Gen Z probably
I will tell you
noticed.
this, like if Jimmy Olsen had such a moment, he made such an impact on the show, where the fuck is Mr. Terrific's TV show? Like he should have one more than Jimmy Olsen should have. Actually the Green Lantern already has are gonna have it too. It's Green Lanterns plural. But like,
We
why
still have that. We have
where's
one
the
picture
yeah, one picture, one set picture.
two
Where's
years
the
ago.
Hawk Girl TV show? Where's the Metamorpho TV show? Like why Jimmy Olsen? Like it just still confuses me on that.
Aura. He has that aura. Did I guess the teenagers were like, "Oh, Jimmy Olsen, you're here." I don't even know at this point, but we'll see how that ends up being. I have no faith whatsoever. But kind of also moving on from that, is there anything else that you wanted to say about the Jimmy Olsen TV show?
No, like I said, I'm still gonna watch it and I'll give it a chance, but I don't have too much faith in like it lasting more than one season.
Ooh, I at least give it two.
Mm.
I don't think it's gonna get canceled. I think that it may like it's just a bridge
I don't.
over troubled water.
Well, that's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be more of a just a connection, a vehicle for something else that they have planned, whether it be the saga that they're trying to put together, or a next movie, or another villain that they might introduce, or even another TV show. But I think that's all this is a bridge.
Ground versus Brainiac. Ooh.
Oh, Grog and the Flash. I mean, if you're introducing Grog, why not allude to the Flash in some way? Cast a new Flash.
We'll get something that runs really quickly by our screen and be like, "What's
Yeah,
that?" It
yeah.
was gone in a flash. So yeah, who knows? It could be a way. Maybe there is actually a plan that we just don't know. Because remember, we had that whole video where it was like, "We have a 10-year plan," and I don't
Right.
really think they're BSing. Sometimes I think that they want to prove that they're not Marvel,
Hmm.
and Marvel really does seem like they're just throwing everything at the wall
Now they are,
and
yeah.
hoping it sticks. Yeah. Even though I still stand behind Wonder Man seems really, really interesting. I'm confused, but it seems really interesting. And the WandaVision trailer, not WandaVision, Vision Quest trailer
Vision Quest.
that
I
we
still
got to
haven't seen
see. I
that.
mean,
You got to see that.
I got to see it. Like, I legit had the tears in my eyes. It was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, my heart, my soul is broken. So who knows? We might actually be on some type of positive something. And then, of course, we have Endgame, which not Endgame, Doomsday, which
Doomsday.
we'll see what that is. Oh no, I have emotionally feelings about marketing and money pit. But anyway,